All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to yet another edition of the Rock and Roll Geezers show. This is our special end of the year edition. I believe it could be episode 39, I believe. Wow. It's been quite a year and we're looking forward to a new one, but first we got to discuss the old one. So helping me to rehash all the highs, lows, ups and downs and this and that would be my co-host Doc Fox. How's it going, Doc?
Doing quite well. Doing very well. Had a great Christmas weekend and saw family and some folks I haven't seen in a long time and got lots of good stuff. Got me a Rock and Roll Geezers t-shirt.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
outstanding.
my youngest daughter got me that. So
How
yeah, it's just good times, good times. Ready to
cool.
wrap up the year, man. You know, this is the
Yeah,
first year of our show, man. First year of our podcast.
yeah,
And
yeah.
like to thank everybody that's been on the journey with us and fumbling around and finding our way and here we are 39 shows later and if you haven't yet and are watching, please subscribe and give us a little support and let us know you're out there.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
yeah, looking forward to a big show, man.
Yeah, a lot to talk about. If you see me twinge every now and then, I'm a bit under the weather, and Christmas season wasn't the best for me. I got that flu that was going around on top of two ear infections. So I'm all sorts of messed up, but that doesn't matter.
It's
It's
rock and
all
roll,
good.
man.
Rock and roll, baby. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, I'll just deal with it. So, it is what it is. But yeah, quite a year, 2022. Man, oh man. We'll talk about our concerts a little bit later, but it was an unexpected surprise to see that our local establishment offered lawn seats for the whole season, which in this case could have been, I believe, at least what 25 shows probably.
Oh, probably I would say 30 if we went to
Oh,
every show,
and we went to
of
12
all
of them,
genres. Yeah.
and it was quite a bargain, quite an interesting summer, seeing the different crowds, obviously the different bands. I mean, we went from the lightest of music, rock music, to the very hardest of rock music, and everything in between. And it was quite
Yep.
an amazing summer. And man, we should talk. You want to fire that up right out of the gate there, Doc?
Yeah. Just we don't need to go into all of it, but just kind of read going over the list here. We started off. We had a three banger with Lover Boy, REO Speedwagon, and Styx, and that was a
Uh,
great time. Next one up was Double Bill with Garbage and Tears for Fears.
that was a surprisingly good. The Tears for Fears was surprised on that one. They were very very good, and as was Garbage. That's a
Oh
great
yeah,
double
yeah,
bill. Great
yeah.
double
That was one
bill.
of the better shows. That was followed up by a Steely Dan. They had a band called Snarky Puppy opening up for them that were kind of unremarkable, I suppose. The
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
but
yeah. A
kind
lot
of
of
cool to see Steely Dan. Not the greatest show, but kind of cool.
it's a bucket list thing. I'm glad.
Yeah,
Glad we saw them. Yeah, yeah. It was a weird crowd. But yeah, yeah. It was a good time. Every night, every concert we saw this summer, the weather was basically perfect. So
perfect.
we really
Yeah.
lucked out on
Yeah,
that
if we get a
one.
repeat of that, that'd be unbelievable.
Oh, it was great,
Then we followed that one up with probably the best opening band of the year was Earth, Wind, and Fire,
without a
and
doubt.
they were opening up for Santana, which was a little disappointing. Santana part of it anyway.
Yeah,
And then followed
Earthwood.
up by I think probably the best show of the year was Cheap Trick and Rod Stewart.
Yeah,
Um,
and Cheap Trick, they did well, but really the emphasis has to be on Sir Rod. He put on
yeah,
a Las Vegas style spectacular that was it was the cream of the crop for
yeah,
the summer season.
surprisingly,
Yeah,
just stunningly good. Yeah.
yeah,
Um, Now we kind of finished that up. Kind of was the way they had it laid out was kind of the first half of the year was kind of the lighter bands, and then the heavier bands in the second half. So we finished up with seeing the legend Brian Wilson and
yeah,
Al Jardine of the Beach Boys, and that
yeah.
was one of the moments of the year. And they
Yes,
were
it
opening
was.
up for Chicago, which
Yeah,
they were kind of trying to put the emphasis on on the trombone player.
Trombone.
Yeah, it's kind of odd, but kind of cool to see him nonetheless. And then
Trombones in space.
and then we got into the heavier stuff. So we had the big four banger, the Freaks on Parade tour, which
Yes.
started off with Power Man 5000, Static X, Mudvayne, which I really enjoyed, and
Yeah,
then
there's
Rob
something.
Zombie, of course, was the headliner.
Sure,
Um,
sure. Yeah,
Followed that one up with yeah, my weaker show of the year, I think Foreigner, and we beat this to death. We won't beat a dead horse, but the Foreigner and Kid Rock.
yeah.
Um, and then the very next night, I was unable to attend, but you
Oh,
represented for Evanescence and Corn,
yep. Well
and
done. Yeah. Good one.
we
Hopefully
had
they'll be back, and I'll
uh,
drag your ass next year. If they're back next year, I'm dragging your ass too
yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
absolutely. No, you won't have to
Or you
drag me.
got to see them. They're great.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, that's on the list for sure. And then we had a four banger. Started with the unknown band called Life Project, and then
Ah,
Bush, which gave us another one of the moments of
one of the
the.
moments of the year. Yeah.
And then Breaking Benjamin, and then the headliner for that show was Alice in Chains.
Yeah.
Followed
Crazy
that
good.
one up with George Thorogood and Sammy Hagar. Just one of the
Good
funner shows for sure. I mean,
rocking night. Yeah.
yeah, just a
Yeah.
good time.
Good
And then
rocking night.
the final show of the summer was a four banger with Fire from the Gods, the Who or Hugh,
The
which is a
Hue. Yeah.
Mongolian rock band that plays really funky old Mongolian and like
Oh yeah. Were
three
they
string
kicking?
cellos and shit. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was pretty cool. And then the Mighty Megadeth, and then
Yes.
finished it up with kind of anticlimactic Five Finger Death Punch, which again
Yes.
we won't beat that to death. But then about a month later, we went to an indoor show and went to a punk show,
Yeah.
and we caught four bands there. Started off with a local band called the Poison Boys, and
Yeah.
then a couple bands that we were unaware of, but have since taken a liking to.
Sure.
Susie Moon and the Briefs. They
Yes.
both put on good shows. And then, of
Susie
course,
Moon.
the last band that we've seen this year was the Dead Boys,
That
which
voice, yeah.
I never thought I'd get to see the Dead Boys, and that's just
That was
yeah,
very cool. Yes.
that was something that was on my bucket list. I didn't even know was on the bucket list, but
And it's shortly
yeah,
after we saw him, health issues started popping up. So we got lucky
yeah.
there. Yeah, yeah. So it was, good year of music. Good
So
year of
yeah, lots
concert.
of rock and roll for the geezers for sure. We'll be looking up
Absolutely.
to next year and look to doing the same, man.
Yeah, yeah. 22 was a crazy one. I'll say that. Right out in starting out in January. We all know Nita Strauss, the guitarist, used to play with Alice Cooper and whatnot. And her and the Disturbed frontman Dave Draymond, their song "Dead Inside," it was on top right out of the gate, first of the year. But quite honestly, she sort of faded away at the moment. We haven't heard too much of her. So I don't
Yeah,
know what's going
we were
on
speaking
there.
to her quite a bit in the summer, and then yeah, you're right. She's kind of
And here we go. Let me just say, here's the next thing. The topic of COVID-19 vaccinations created a rift in rock music culture. On one end, musicians such as Neil Young and Joni Mitchell actually took their music off of Spotify to protest their hosting of Joe Rogan's podcast that has contained some COVID-19 misinformation. Right there, it's been proven it's not misinformation. See, there's the problem. Everybody jumped the gun
right.
real quick. And the one
Yep.
thing about musicians and politicians, musicians must understand, politicians are some of the lowest, sleaziest, scum-sucking mother effers you'll ever meet.
Self-serving, yeah,
Self-serving, narcissistic pieces of crap that will say anything to get elected and then just screw you. I mean, really. So any musicians who want to get involved in politics, if you get any crap from anybody, you got it coming because you're dancing with the devil in that respect. And it's funny,
good
and
call.
and then you got had artists like Kid Rock doing the exact opposite, and he'll come up a little bit later here. So, but geez, January started out with a bang with all this COVID crap and musicians getting involved, and it didn't mean a hill of beans. I'm going to take my music off of Spotify. So what? Oh
Yeah,
well, what do you do?
yeah, we saw how that ended up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But Jeez, just a lot of release. Everybody was releasing albums. Jeez, I can't go through the list of people. Slash, Jethro Tull, Eddie Vedder, 3 Days Grace, Korn, Red Hot Chili Peppers in February alone. So it was a big year for music. The thing is, everybody was sitting at home, and they couldn't go out for their COVID. So all these musicians actually started making some music. And then bam, we started getting hit by it. So that's a good thing about that. But
yeah, that's kind of what it seemed like. It was kind of the everybody was kind of locked up for a couple of years, so everybody was ready to had new music and ready to hit the road, man. And man, there's lots of concerts all year long.
Yeah. It's quite a busy year for new music. We saw a few bands that were pushing some new music too. So
yeah.
And in March, even more, Ghost put out their 5th studio album, Impera. And they're one of the hopes at this point, because you got your new metal, you got your hard metal, you got your death metal, how about just some good rock and roll? And Ghost is fitting that in right now, and I don't mind them. I don't care what the Imperatist Popus or whatever they got, dressing up like the Pope, whatever. But
yeah, they got their imagery, I mean, that's kind of, that's nothing new to rock and roll,
And here's a quick fact you'll like. And in March of this year, speaking of Kid Rock put out his 12th studio album, Bad Reputation.
Right.
And it failed to debut in the top 200 of the Billboard 200 upon its release. His prior 7 albums had all debuted in the top 10 of the chart. But he got involved with all this political crap.
Exactly. I would say that has more that's more of a commentary on the political climate.
Well, and the last line, music. His turn towards politics was cited as a possible reason for the steep decline since prior albums. And I have to agree. You dance with the devil, boys. Either side, all of them. They're all horrible, horrible people. So
yeah, no good can come from it, man.
Yeah. And what a shame. But and then April we had the Grammys came up, which was interesting. Foo Fighters got their Just Desserts. They won 3 major awards in that, so that's all good. Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah, because they're kind of the lone representatives out there. I mean,
at this point,
Foo Fighters put out an album, it's going to get multiple Grammys. I mean, just on
Well, yeah.
By default, kind of.
You wonder what's going to go on in that situation. They may very well be dead at this point. Taylor Hawkins passing and whatnot. But yeah, we haven't heard anything from them.
Yeah, we'll get more into that, obviously. But
that's a pretty big void, not having Foo Fighters up there because, yeah.
Well, like you said, that's why we spoke about it on the last show. That's why we're looking to bands like Ghost and Greta Van Fleet and now Måneskin that we mentioned and these new up and coming bands, hoping exactly who's going to fill that void, man. Yeah,
pick up the void, baby. Yeah. So, unreal. But Jack White, he released another in April. A lot of music came out, and I don't hear too much of it. In May, My Chemical Romance. Geez, haven't heard of them forever. Black Keys, they released.
Yeah, they got back together for Riot Fest. That was originally announced for during COVID, and then they finally got around to everybody getting back out on the road. So they were at Riot Fest. So probably pushing a new album, no doubt.
Yeah. Oh boy, what do we got here? June, more. Yeah, everybody's releasing records, crying out loud. July's Shinedown, which actually is one of the groups I hope will stop by the Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. I'd like to see Shinedown. Just I've heard of them. I've heard their music. I haven't seen them live. I just want to see them live, just to see what's going on.
Yeah, I saw
there.
them early on. They opened for Van Halen when I saw them one time. Yeah, at the United Center.
Okay, yeah. See what they're up to.
That's when they had that cover of Simple Man. That was like one of the first things that they had come out.
Oh, July, Jack White releases Entering Heaven Alive. Jack White, geez, I'll tell you, I'm so I'm sick of everything, Doc, at this point. And let me tell you about Jack White.
Because you're a geezer, man.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm watching TV and there's what is it? American Pickers. Okay, it's a show, American Pickers, which
Oh, yeah.
I don't watch anymore because it's all staged, and I can't stand stage supposedly realism programs at this point.
Right.
Okay, and the hosts are jerk off. Is he gonna win the contest? Oh, is the other host gonna win the contest? I don't know. Is the female host gonna win the contest, or is special guest Jack Black gonna win the? It's
Jack
like he's
White?
on American,
Jack White or Jack Black?
Jack White, whatever,
Yeah.
Black, White, don't matter. But either way, they're on the damn show, and it's all staged, and it's like, geez, Jack White, you don't need to do this. You just don't. With his blue hair, of course, he got blue hair on this show. It's like, it's all fake. I hate it all. That's why they call it programming. They're programming your brain. Boy, you can tell I'm on meds, man. I'm all way out there today. But in any case, what was it? We started, I think, our concert season started, I believe, in early June, if I'm not mistaken.
June 4th was our first show.
Was it? Okay. Yeah. So yeah, besides all this other stuff going on, we're in the midst of some really, really great shows. August, Panic at the Disco released. There you go. Five Finger Death Punch released their ninth studio album. I don't know. It's just, I don't know what to say about Five Finger. I wanted to like them a whole bunch. I want to get in there and just be blown away, but it was just it was like pop metal, I guess you could say. No?
Yeah, I know they're one of the new bands. I see it on my Facebook feed, and I have a couple people that are fans of theirs and whatnot. But and they're part of the M72 tour, the Metallica tour. They're one of the openers when
I
at
know.
Pantera one night and Five Finger Death Punch the other night. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Not our cup of tea, as we stated before, but
and of course in September, Ozzy released his 13th studio album, Patient Number 9. That got a lot of talk, and rightfully so. He had a lot of stars on there. So good.
Yeah, it was kind of a big year for Ozzy. Like you said, we've talked about him ad nauseum, quite honestly. He's got the new album. Is this going to be his last album? We kind of think so, or but and he's talking about, is he going to tour and all this, and now of course they're moving back to the UK, and just he was just in the news all year long, and they have the new reality show once they move back called Home to Roost, and we've talked about what an attention whore Sharon is, and kind of keeping Ozzy out there when he probably shouldn't be, and kind of been a big year for Ozzy, but it is a great new album, and as I've stated before, I think they should just kind of go out on top, and
bingo, like you said,
they won't bow out gracefully. No, they won't, but
no. Oh well, and then in October we had Alter Bridge release their 7th. Red Hot Chili Peppers released their second full-length 17-track studio album of 2022. So they were busy. And wow, geez, Blink 182 is looking about getting back together. Whatever. That's sort of minimal news. We had some serious news.
Yeah, they got the original bass player back. They they had the guy, the Matt Skiba from Alkaline Trio, and I don't know too much about Blink 182, but I remember that being in the news.
Yeah. Well, speaking of news, boy, was it a year for news, Doc. Holy cow! It's almost it's trying to figure out where to start with all the soap operas that we've been following, and they're still going on. There's more next week. Oh, we got updates on all sorts of cool stories, Journey, and also holy cow, the soap opera of Journey, and there's some more we got coming up. Oh, it's so exciting.
Yeah, I would say the biggest story, or the biggest band story wise, was Motley Crue. I mean, we brought them up, for one thing or another all year long. They had the biggest tour of the year, which I got some stats on that, which kind of, I think need to be put out there. So as we talked about, they raked in 173.5 million. So basically 175 million. sold 1.3 million tickets. So that was an average of 37.5 thousand per night for 36 shows. Okay. In contrast to their supposed one, was it back in 2014, 2015, I think, when they did their supposed final tour.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah.
They did 158 shows.
Right.
Okay, remember, this is 36 shows,
that's 5
175
times.
million.
That's 5 times the shows, right?
They did 158 shows and raked in 44 million.
Okay, what the heck? Yeah.
So
right.
I mean, they definitely hit on something big with this stadium tour. Hooking up with Def Leppard, and two, like we talked about, I think everybody was just really hungry for that big tour like that. After a couple of years, I mean, this was originally supposed to be in 2020. Mm-hmm. That's when they were selling the tickets, and I mean, it was originally for 2020, and got pushed back in 2021 and 2022 finally. So people were hungry for it, and boy, they showed up in droves, man.
Yeah, but boy, oh boy, what there's your perfect example of a drama. You had the tour, then you have Tommy's dick pics, which he was posting on, what was it, Instagram or TikTok, one of them?
Probably on Instagram, yeah.
Yeah, and you had the melodrama of Vince. People wondering if he's still able to even perform. And he got everything going for him. He needs to hook up with Diamond Dallas Page or something, and Diamond Dallas Page
turn it around. Yeah,
Diamond Dallas Page has got a yoga system that changes lives. He needs to hook up with somebody. Get rid of the freaking gut. Go out there like a freaking stud, like a rock star.
Yeah, I think he's just too, into the whole, party lifestyle and going out and eating and drinking and
a little bit too much of the Ric Flair drip right there, baby.
Yeah.
Ric Flair drip. Had a boy, Ric Flair. I'd check out some drip with Rick for sure. Yeah,
but remember, Tom, he had the broken ribs, and it was speculated that he and Vince had a fight because he called him Vince Meal.
Good call, yeah. And his house got broken into. Tommy's house got broken into, and it's just one, and then they get.
And then once we got tired of hearing about Tommy, then it was time to for Mick Mars to retire.
Yeah, bring on John 5. Yeah.
So, we had all the speculation that we were on it from the beginning too with John 5. So
we were
kind of just it's interesting, maybe go back and look at our old episodes and see how all that played out, because we followed it all the way through. So
and there'll be more to come for sure on that. My goodness. And of course, we've talked about Kiss. They're endless tour. They're endless everything. Jeez, they're jeez. Well, I don't know what to say at this point about them. They're just they're never going to end. They're never going to go away. It's just like just a bad situation as far as I'm concerned. They should just go away. Have some pride at this point.
I mean, they'll always have their legion of fans that'll always support them, and there'll always be a new group that want to go see what all the fuss is about, I suppose, and kind of see what it's all about, seeing Kiss. But at some point it's time to hang it up, man. I've seen them a couple times, and I have no interest in seeing a third time. But now of course they have the talk that they'll continue even without Gene and Paul, and it'll be like a Blue Man Group kind of thing, and we talk about all that, but
it's not. It's just a circus sideshow at this point. Maybe back in the 70s, and I grew up back in the 70s. People were doing copious amounts of drugs, LSD, acid, mescaline, all that crap. So maybe you go to the club or a concert, you're whacked out on that shit. It may be far out, the hallucinations may be, Gene may be, really freaking you out or something. Those days are long gone. People aren't freaking out anymore. Jeez. So I think they should hang it up.
Oh yeah, they've been a nostalgia act for a long time. But actually, you know what though? Honestly, thinking about it, we joke how they're always in the news, but they really have been for 50 years now. Really, they've always been in the forefront of the culture. Maybe not like they were, in their heyday in the 70s, but they've always been somewhat relevant.
That's why Gene
not with new music, obviously, but just with something. They always just seem to stay in the news, and Gene's always got something going on, and
Yeah, well, he's worth almost a half a billion, so he's doing something right. But geez, lay the band to rest. Let the tribute bands in cities all around America do the job from here on in.
Just let
'Cause
Many Kiss
there's
take it over from here, man.
yeah, yeah. Let the tributes take on because there's some very good tributes out there. So you
Well,
made
if
your
they're
money.
talking about doing the Blue Man Group, then that's all that's going to be anyway. But just
Jeez.
one will
Yeah.
happen to have the official name. That's the only difference,
Oh gosh,
you know.
yeah, they can't do that. Come on, guys. No. Jeez
But
almighty.
yeah, there was a lot of bands out on tour. Guns N' Roses, they had their world tour this year.
Ah,
Aerosmith had their residency. Remember that got cut short with
that got
Steven
cut
Tyler's
short. We'll see what yeah, we'll see what
his
happens with
rehab
that.
situation. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Um,
if I was them, if you're rich enough, just call it a day. I'm sure the
yep.
whole band is wore out. I mean, they've been kicking our ass since early 70s. Their first
Yeah.
albums are just magnificent, just rock masterpieces. Jiminy creepers. So,
Yeah, up until about Done with Mirrors was that first album where without Joe Perry, remember when he left. So I think
yeah.
right to up to that point, that's the golden age. After that, it was just all kind of, you know,
Oh man, they were so
trying to
good,
get hit
so good.
records to make a comeback. But yeah, we may have seen the last of the live Aerosmith. So, but
Yeah.
we saw the Who out there this year. We saw Elton John finishing up his farewell
And
tour.
I believe though who's coming back again. I think they're setting up another tour already.
Yeah, no
Gosh.
doubt, no
Uh,
doubt.
uh,
We saw the different versions of Yes out there. We saw
yeah.
of course, with Journey, and now all the legal issues with Journey, and we've been
Oh,
talking about that, and
we'll be talking
there's more
about
to
that
come.
next week. Yes.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, very exciting. Very exciting.
Alice Cooper's constantly out there. We talked about him pretty much all year. He's constantly out there.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah,
one
he
of the
is.
things too, with as far as live music, one of the big stories was the Ticketmaster dynamic pricing model
Ooh,
that they're trying to follow now, and
yeah,
and we spoke about that namely with Bruce Springsteen, where his tickets were, $5,000 or even more, I suppose,
right.
and then the whole battle was like, and you nailed it. You spoke about where Adele is getting like 40 grand in Vegas, and that's just throwing the scale all off. That's just throwing,
Yeah,
seemingly where somebody's asking, 5 grand like Springsteen, that's a drop in the bucket compared to 40 grand for Adele. So things are just getting out of control. I think that's one of the things we're going to see in this upcoming year. Where there'll be more about that. Either something's going to be done to curb that kind of thing, or it's just going to go further out of control. I don't know. We're gonna have to
well,
see
I
see
believe
which
there's
way it
some
goes.
lawsuits going on. I believe it's is either Ticketmaster owns Live Nation or I think Live Nation owns Ticketmaster. But it's
Right,
like it's like a monopoly type of deal. And
right.
I think they got some lawsuits going on there, which they should. We get lucky. We're lucky, man. We're golden. We're golden for the whole summer.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't. It stinks. It paid $5,000 for a ticket. I think we spent last year between $8 and $9 a band because
Yeah.
of buying the season pass. So you just got to be smart with your money and just don't pay it. The problem is people will pay it. The rich will pay it.
Well, I recently saw something too, and it was in terms that spoken about Metallica, the M72 tour, and they were going back, and they did it with other bands as well, but they were mainly speaking about Metallica and the Black Tour back in '91, their biggest album, their biggest tour.
Yeah.
Tickets were $30 ish,
Wow.
and now that same ticket from back then. Obviously, there's been inflation, but that's not going to count for all this.
Right.
That same ticket for this M72 tour is over $700.
Yeah. Sorry. From
So,
$30 to 700. There you go.
in
Yep.
20 years, 30 years, I guess, 30 years.
But still, that's
But
insane. Yep. Totally
there's just
insane.
like I said, that it's just gone to whatever the market will bear, and like I said, the Live Nation and Ticketmaster have become their own scalpers, and something's got to
Yeah.
be done, man. Something's got to be done, man.
Yeah.
Or you know what? Just do exactly what we're doing. Just
Just
get
talk
those
about it.
cheap tickets and or go to local venues like we did with the Dead Boys, and just see,
Yeah, support your local clubs. That's
yeah,
it, especially when they bring national acts around.
yeah,
Definitely, definitely. But yeah, it just crazy as hell. Jeez. And then we had plenty of cancel. Things aren't very hunky dory out there tour wise. There's still a lot of bands who aren't making money, and who can't make money, so they're canceling tours because of that magic word that we talked about so often, it being logistics. The cost of everything, every little thing is up. Now, a lot of bands aren't Bruce Springsteen. They're not going to
yeah,
be able to afford the cost of everything. So, man, and we saw that word a lot this summer for sure.
yeah. Oh yeah, a lot of festivals. I think we're kind of following it now more closely. With the show, kind of realizing how difficult it is to pull off a festival, man. I mean, these people are making plans and kind of realizing, hey, this is not working, and at the last minute, I bet we reported on, I don't know how many, 8, 9, I don't know, a lot.
A whole
And
bunch of them. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, that was just the festivals, and then there's other tours. Anthrax canceled a tour. For a myriad of reasons, we saw different tours being canceled. So
Yeah, yeah. It's not the best situation out there. It still isn't. Yeah. So
a lot of it was over in Europe, because getting tour buses and stuff like that was, tripled the cost.
yeah,
As we
price
learned
of
from
fuel,
Anthrax.
fuel, lodging,
Yeah,
everything, every little thing.
yeah.
And so man, just wow. There you go. Hopefully we'll see things change for the better, but I'm not confident, only because there's politicians in charge, and I'll just leave it at that. They'll screw up a wet dream, you know.
Yeah, as long as somebody's able to scam a buck out of it somewhere, who's ultimately going to pay is the consumer. So,
Absolutely,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. But hopefully they'll lay on some tours this coming year. We know of at least 5 anyway that will be, that are coming to our venue. Geez, Janet Jackson on May 31st, Labor Day weekend. That'll be crazy. I may go see that actually. She's
I'm not
legendary.
I'm not saying no. We'll see.
I
Yeah,
may,
we'll
because
see.
that would be a real interesting way to
I'm not
start
worried
the
about getting there
year.
early, because I think opening up is ludicrous, which that would just be ludicrous.
Oh,
I'm
oh, no, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna go. But
Oh yeah, and then
yeah, Jack, I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence. We'll see if there's anything else going around that dates.
yeah, yeah,
We'll pencil that one in for now, I suppose.
and of course a Foreigner, which I don't expect you to go see,
No,
with who's playing with them?
Loverboy.
Loverboy. Oh boy, yeah, that'll I'll just go for the ambiance, and to report back to the Rock and Roll Geezers show. So I'll probably go see that. We got, we gotta represent, as they say, the kids represent. So,
Rep, yeah.
and then let me see who else is going there.
We got
Shania
the Brett
Twain.
Michaels. Oh yeah, Shania Twain.
Shania Twain. I don't know. I'll have to check her out.
I might
I don't know.
actually be more apt to see her than Janet Jackson. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know.
it'd be a good show. It's guaranteed a good production.
Yeah,
Shania Twain ain't gonna mess around. And then yes, Brett Michaels, he's bringing the circus, baby. Yeah, that's
the
gonna be
Party Gras tour.
party gras. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's with the Jefferson Starship, Night Ranger.
Ooh,
Mark
yeah.
McGrath is joining him, and Steve Algeri, who was
There
the
you go.
first replacement of Steve Perry and Journey. So, and supposedly mystery guest along the tour. I don't know if we'll have any in Chicago, but
Well, they better. It's Chicago, for crying out
in
loud. Just
Chicago, yeah, exactly, yeah.
just bring your bodyguards to protect you. It's a dangerous place.
So,
Nonetheless, and then
and
yes,
then the big one, yeah, the big one's
Uncle
ZZ Top.
Cracker's going to be opening up for
Yeah,
Leonard Skinner, who's opening up for ZZ Top. So
yeah.
far, that's a 5. That's a good 5, Pete. No, and I saw somebody online. Well, I'm going to buy my ticket until I see the full schedule. crying out loud, they're scheduled into April and May for crying,
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
better get your ticket now, pal, because they're gonna fill up the schedule. It's not like, well, we got 5 shows, we're good to go, No, they'll probably have 30 shows for crying out loud.
Oh
So
yeah, oh yeah.
get your tickets now, folks, before because this lawn pass deal ends eventually. Probably not for a few months now. That seems they started
Oh no,
early
I
this
think it's
year.
a couple weeks. Last year was only a couple weeks.
Was it? Yeah. So see,
Yeah.
they started early this year, I think. Just
So I don't
very
know.
amazing.
I don't know what to see.
But yeah, so
But the big announced tours of next year we will not be seeing, and that is of course and we covered this story from the very beginning.
yep.
Mighty reunion tribute / whatever with Pantera.
Celebration. They're calling it a
Celebration of
celebration, which
Pantera.
is good. Yeah.
So yeah, we
Holy
were
cow.
talking about that before Zach Wilde and Charlie Benanti were even announced. They were just it was rumors and
Yeah.
we were reporting on that and filling you in as things came in. And I remember at one point Rex Brown said it'll be anybody except Zach Wilde, and then they turned out being him. So,
yeah.
but
oh wow, I saw.
like we talked about a little bit too. I always thought they would just do like a headlining tour, but they're jumping on all these festivals and opening up for Metallica. So
Oh,
I gotta think it has to
golden.
do with like we're talking about with logistics,
Yeah.
Instead of I'm sure instead of the cost or whatever it is of headlining a tour,
They're
just
in the
jump on
golden
somebody
seat
else's.
right now, man. They're in the golden
Yeah.
seat. I saw another video down in Chile, big festival, huge soccer stadium with a huge field, packed to the hilt, the whole place packed to the hilt. And I think they were doing respect walk. And
Yeah.
there was like 8 mosh pits on the main floor.
Right. Yeah.
It was the most amazing looking thing. I mean, big mosh pits all over this place. It was I've never seen anything like it. It's like, geez, these guys are just gonna slay all year long, man. They're just gonna destroy crowds. And Chile, they seem to have a real penchant for kicking ass when it comes to festivals and concerts. The fans really get down in Chile. Jeez Almighty, just huge mosh pits all over the main floor. It was stunning. I'd never seen anything like it.
And around them, everybody just jumping up and down in unison.
Yeah.
It's just
My
just
gosh.
like
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's
boy, they gotta feel good about the reception they're getting, because there were naysayers. There were a lot of naysayers. You don't want to do it. How disrespectful, blah, blah, blah. No, they're being very respectful. And obviously,
they're doing it the right way for sure. Yeah.
The fans are really appreciating this because, my gosh. Yeah.
To the point, remember we even talked about where Zach had hired Dimebag's guitar tech.
Right.
All those, every detail. They really tried to do this the right way. So
yeah,
you gotta respect that.
Boy, they're just the songs kick such ass. It's just so great to hear them live. Just wow. I'm just flipping, man. It's very cool. Oh, geez. Yeah. So they're and they'll be going with Metallica, and sadly, it's just the weirdest tour.
I hope that's not their only Chicago appearance. I got a feeling it's probably going to be, but I hope not.
Jeez.
Maybe we'll get an opportunity to see him somewhere else. But
well, I don't know how much the tickets are going to be for that 2-night deal, but it number one,
minimum's 400 something. So
and I can't stand up all night with my health, so I could go see it if I wanted to, unless somebody at Wrigley has a box. They want to fire us up, and we'll sit in a box all night. But that ain't going to happen. So we ain't going to be there. But yeah, I hope they peel off and at least, do something somewhere where we can go see them, because that's going to be epic. That is going to be great. So, and of course, Ozzy he was in the news all year long.
Yeah, we talked about him a little bit. Yeah, he's had a big year, had the new album. Another story that we pretty much followed from the beginning was the whole Van Halen saga too.
Man.
Yeah, started off, you remember where Jason Newsted, former Metallica bassist, had kind of loose lips, had mentioned in some offshoot interview of some very small publication somewhere that they had been approached and to do something with the celebration tribute of Van Halen. And
Yep.
Joe Satriani was involved. And remember, just as we got talking about this, the layers just unpeeled. And basically, I think we're saying it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You know.
Yeah, it just going. Yeah, and so that you know, that fed us a couple of months, a bunch of BS, but it's just not going to happen. You know,
everybody was kind of putting it on David Lee Roth. It was kind of that he was the one holding it up, but and come to find out, I was listening to Sammy Hagar was on Eddie Trunk.
Yes,
talking about Alex.
You know, Alex, him and Alex, they haven't talked. Alex won't get back with him. Won't answer his texts. Won't do anything. So it looks like them two are at odds. So
they was talking about where Michael Anthony had something in his family. He didn't go into detail about it, and he tried to get a hold of Alex, just to kind of let him know what was going on, and just never could get a hold of him for anything. So definitely seems like that, and you know, to me, really the real key, the real key is Wolfgang. To me, he's the one that would have to do it. And
if he says no, it ain't happening. Yeah.
You know, he did a little bit a tribute at the Taylor Hawkins thing that we'll talk about next, but you know, to do a whole tour or you know, maybe a concert or it would be something like the Taylor Hawkins thing, I think we talked about it. That would probably been the way to go, but I don't think anything's going to happen. I really don't. I don't think anything's going to happen.
They should let it lie. You know, the music's so great. Just it's time. It's going to be forever. You know what a legacy. So I would, you know.
It'd been cool. You know, he had the Taylor Hawkins thing. You know, it'd been cool to have something like that. I mean, to me, that was the event of the year.
Yeah, you know, I have to agree. Yeah. Taylor Hawkins. Jeez, what a drag. Died March 25th. He was only 50 years old. Yeah, that was a shocker, and really sort of put Foo Fighters in limbo for Lord knows how long. Ronnie Spector, she passed January 12th. She was 78. The big sound. But boy,
I got a list of some folks that passed, and of course they didn't get a big concert like Taylor Hawkins did, but started Ronnie Spector, January 12th, January 20th, Meatloaf. Remember, we lost Meatloaf this year.
Yes, real name?
Marvin a Day.
Yes, there you go, baby. Yeah.
Father-in-law too.
Oh, wait a while now. Oh, remember they father-in-law? I don't know. I know his daughter.
Anthrax. Yeah.
Okay, right. He was married to his daughter. Right.
His daughter Pearl. Yeah.
Gosh almighty. Yeah, I knew that.
Then in February we lost Ian McDonald, who you may know. He was with King Crimson and Foreigner.
Yeah, King Crimson.
Foreigner, no. Rock guy's been around.
Oh no,
he was the original guy with Foreigner. He was the original guy though.
Group.
Yeah, they were. You know, all right.
Yeah.
Shortly after that, on the 22nd of February, we lost one of the grunge guys, Mark Lanigan, from a band called Screaming Trees.
Screaming Trees, I heard of them.
Yeah. So what is it? It's a curse with those grunge guys. We've lost them all except Eddie Vedder. You know, Chris Cornell, Lane Staley, Cobain. You know, they're all gone. You know,
isn't that amazing?
But
of course, Taylor on.
March we lost Taylor Hawkins. We lost. Remember a band Autograph? Turn up the radio.
Remember the radio. Oh, I got
the front man for that band.
Oh gosh,
front band for them. Randy Rand passed away in April, and then on May 26th we lost a couple people. We lost Alan White of Yes. And Andy Fletcher from Depeche Mode.
I dig Depeche Mode. You know, there was 80s had a lot of electronica rock, and a lot of it was crap, but some of it I really dug. And Depeche Mode, they were just off kilter enough that I really got into their stuff. And of course, Alan.
Yeah, they were a little darker. They were a little They were pretty
great
cool,
harmonies, great musical setups, and everything. And Alan White, of course, English the drummer. Yes. What can you say about Yes? It's just amazing. Just amazing.
Then a couple of days after that, we lost Ronnie Hawkins. Remember, he's kind of an old school guy. He's kind of
Screaming Ronnie
associated
Hawkins,
with
right?
like the bands. No, that's you're thinking Screaming Jay Hawkins.
Yeah. See,
Screaming
drugs.
Ronnie Hawkins,
Yeah.
or not just Ronnie Hawkins. Yeah, he's kind of associated. He's kind of more of a country kind of guy, associated with like the band, Robbie Robertson, those kind of guys.
Oh, okay, okay,
So
yeah, sure.
yeah, he's around for a little while. And then in June, we lost Alec John Such, original bass player with Bon Jovi.
Ah, 70 years old.
Yeah, he
Well,
was he
getting
was the
old.
oldest of the band. Yeah, he was asked to leave the band in the 90s at some point, but
Oh
he's in
boy,
the Hall of Fame with them. So
very cool.
and then the very next day we lost Jim Seals from Seals and Croft.
Ooh, Southern bird, don't
Excuse
fly
me, which
away,
is just
fly
one of the
away.
creepiest looking guys. Look him up. I love their. I mean, that's some mellow AM
Oh yeah,
gold
yeah.
stuff from the 70s, but two of the creepiest looking guys you'll ever come across in rock and roll, man. Go watch them. Tell me I'm wrong, man. And into August,
No,
Olivia Newton.
not
Oh,
yet though. You go back to July 5th.
oh,
Manny
what do we got there?
Charlton, the Scottish rock guitarist for Nazareth,
Oh, from Nazareth,
passed
right?
away. July 5th. Boy, they had some great songs. They're a big part of my youth, the 70s, when I was, basically in my teenage prime.
Yeah, that band lost a couple this year.
Yeah, they did. Lost the singer too, I believe. So
Yeah, a little
what a
later
shame.
we'll
So
mention
Manny
him
Manny
too.
died July 5th, but obviously he's got a hell of a legacy, man. Got some great songs. So yeah. Mm-mm. Go move on.
And then into August 8th, Olivia Newton-John.
Oof.
Remember, we lost. She was kind
Yeah.
of even though she was Australian, she was kind of America's sweetheart there for a while.
Oh yeah,
Kind of,
yeah. Back in the 70s, yeah, I used to work second shift at Caterpillar, and I after the shift ended, we'd run into town and sit at the bar for a while, and they had this picture of her back in the 70s that was just right up by the bar there. Like, she was such a babe. You're right, America's Sweetheart with Grease and whatnot, which was on just this week, as a matter of fact.
Oh yeah, it's constantly running still. Yeah.
But just she was just so cool, so cool. But
Then looking into October 24th, REO Speedwagon bassist Greg Philbin. But you can hear him referred to on some REO live stuff as Regis. I'm sure that's Regis Philbin. I'm sure it's because of his last name.
I've seen him a lot. I saw them a lot before before the first album came out, and he was a bass player. And yeah, I always thought it was because he looked so straight. He dressed real normal, and he had a balding top and stuff. He didn't look like a rock star,
Right.
Mountain. But boy, then you look over to the other side of the stage, and there's Gary Rickrath just away.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Also,
they replaced him with Bruce Hall. I don't know at what point, some late 70s maybe. I don't know, somewhere in there.
Yeah, but he was great. But back to September 24th, we lost the founding drummer of Doobie Brothers.
Okay.
John Hartman. He's only 72. It is what it is. It sucks, but gosh dang it.
Yeah, as you said many times, we're at that age. So
yeah.
And then of course, late in October on the 28th, we lost a couple, but namely the killer, Jerry Lee Lewis.
Jerry Lee. And you were lucky enough to see him, boy.
Oh yeah, I saw him. I was right up on the rail. I was like 3 deep off the rail for him. That was awesome.
Boy,
But we did an episode kind of on Jerry Lee and his crazy life, and definitely a one of a kind guy, man. I mean, he lived life differently than just about anybody, I suppose. So,
yeah, pretty crazy.
And on that same day, we lost a punk legend, D.H. Peligro from the Dead Kennedys.
Oh my God!
So, yeah.
Well, wait a while. That's not right. Wait a while. Time out. Back in the day, if I'm not mistaken, anytime one of the actual Kennedys died, they'd have to add a member to the band. So what happens now? An actual member of the band died. What are they trying get at one of the Kennedys to join them, or what? That sort of it screws everything up because. Yeah, back in the day, if one of the, like John Kennedy died, John F. Kennedy Jr., they added a member. They had to, the dead Kennedy. So I'm just shitting, for Christ's sakes.
Then on November 8th, Dan McCafferty, the lead man
Yeah,
from Nazareth, second member for that band.
one of the very
And we talked about
distinguishable,
him, how yeah, his influence
his
on guys like
voice and his
Axl
voice.
Rose and
I mean,
Brian
yeah,
Johnson, and
holy cow. His
yeah,
voice is amazing, and it's unique,
yeah.
and like another one, Nazareth is never going to go away, man. The music's always going to be there.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah,
is.
you remember Axel kind of paid tribute to him after that, kind of stating as much that he was his inspiration for his singing
Oh,
style
you
and
can
stuff.
see
So
it. You can, yeah, you
yeah,
can hear it.
oh yeah, big time.
Absolutely,
And
man.
then the last big one we've had this year, Christine McVie of Fleetwood Mac, the
Oh,
Songbird,
mm.
she
Oh, yeah, just
yeah,
smooth vocals. Oh,
oh yeah.
songwriting, playing, jeez. Yep, what a shame. Jeez. They're all going, damn it. It sucks.
Yeah. So another
Gosh.
year, lost another group of great ones, and there'll be more to come. Unfortunately, I'm sure, but
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
And of course,
and with each year also comes another group of Hall of Fame inductees.
yes, indeed. This year, finally. Well, this year we discussed this quite a bit. How Dolly Parton was nominated, and then she refused the nomination, and
Yeah,
then reaccepted it, which
yeah,
put Judas Priest in a spot because they would have been, they would have been on that top whatever list to make it
right.
in as a musician, but they had to make it in on a an off a separate side of music excellence or whatever it was.
Right,
What
right.
was that?
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. They have the top vote getters, and it's I don't know top five or whatever it is get in. And Dolly had bowed out, gracefully, and said
Of
as much,
course.
hey, I'm not a rock and roll artist. That this should be for somebody who's a rock and roll artist. And the committee, the association, whatever it is, talked to Jan Winter, whoever's in charge there, talked her into coming back in, which dropped Judas Priest down the spot, and
Yep.
Dolly got in, and Judas Priest did not get in as a performer. There's the performer category, which is what that's what you want. That's what most people get in under that category. But as a kind of a back doorway, they have this category called musical excellence, which started off, it was called the sideman category. And it was for guys like James Burton and stuff, like Elvis's, side guys and stuff like
Okay.
that. And then like Randy Rhoads got in under that category, stuff like that. But Judas Priest is the first band. They're the first, band unit to go in under that category. So kind of a back doorway, but I spoke about it at the time. I think they kind of realized that they're never going to get voted in, but they need to get in, and this is the way to do it. So
There you go, man. Well, they're in. So and Dolly's in, and Dolly, of course, is doing a rock album, and it's not as I don't have much hope for it. It's going to be a bunch of standard songs that everybody's heard a billion times. So I'd rather see something fresh and
yeah,
new. But
it's kind of Dolly's karaoke night, kind of, yeah.
yeah. So it is what it is. But yeah, in general, more power to you. Can't. But as a matter of fact, I was surfing the interweb and come across an article where Jeff Bezos is giving her $100 million for charity work.
Right.
And there are people on there complaining, actually on the comments complaining. Oh, what does she know? They should give it to pet rescue or some crap like that. I just had a fire back at
They don't know
them.
what they're talking about.
You don't
Yeah.
know what you're talking about. I'd trust her as much as I'd trust the Shriners or St. Jude's.
Yeah. Look at
She's
the
an
work she's already
angel.
done. Speaks for
Yeah.
itself. So
And many people came and really trounced on that person because she's no, she's not going to waste the money. I guarantee. You can pretty
no.
much put it in a bank. If anybody's going to spend the money wisely, it's going to be Dolly Parton. She's been doing it for decades. So good for
Well,
her.
part of it, just list the inductees for this year, the class of 22. Pat Benatar finally got
Sure.
in, along with her
And
husband Neil
Nick,
Giraldo,
sure. Neil.
and Eminem, first ballot got in.
Yeah,
Eminem,
okay. Okay.
Dolly, we've already spoken about. Lionel Richie, I think it was the first time he's been eligible for a long time, but I think it was the first time he was on the ballot.
Really?
Carly Simon,
Mm-hmm.
Duran Duran,
All right.
Eurythmics, and Judas Priest. So
Cool.
we'll see. We'll see what we get for next year. You know, it's always interesting.
Duran, they should be in just for their song "Ordinary World," as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, yeah.
One thing that bothered me as far as the ceremony, the actual induction ceremony.
Right.
If you remember, Alanis Morissette didn't show up, and she said she was protesting the lack of women in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and I just really got to call bullshit on that one. I know that's kind of been a battle cry in past years, but I think in the last few years, this was not the time for her to make that stance, because they've really, I think, tried to overcome that. Remember last year they brought in Tina Turner and Carole King, got in for their second times each. And then this year, look, you got Pat Benatar, and I think that's why they had Dolly too, just to get more of a female presence in there.
Yeah, try and bitch at us now. Yeah, holler at us now. We got Dolly, jerks.
Yeah. So just this year, you got Pat Benatar, Dolly Parton, and Carly Simon, and Annie Lennox with Eurythmics. I mean, I think it's a fairly good representation of women. So for her to make that stance this year, I'm kind of calling bullshit on that one.
Yeah, just trying to get publicity. Jeez, just terrible. But in any case, yeah, it was a interesting year, man. Interesting year. I'll say that. Boy, oh boy. And next year, boy, I don't know, man.
You have any other stories? There's some other stories that stood out to me this year. The whole legal issues with Journey. Like I said, we'll speak about that.
We'll get into we'll delve
week,
into that because it's gotten really even more interesting, Doc. I don't know how it could, but yes,
this is a soap opera and a half.
It is really so great. Yeah, it's even more interesting now. I'm so excited. But
oh my goodness,
yeah, it's.
I think one of the other big stories too was artists selling off their catalogs. We had a lot of that we spoke about this year.
A lot of artists, yeah. Well, yeah, boy, yeah, we had a show about that. A whole bunch of people cashing in. Some cashing in real big, some cashing in not as much as we thought they should. But everybody's getting smart, I think BGM's the big buyer.
Yeah, so, BGM and Sony, yeah.
Sony, okay, yeah. So a lot of that going
BMG,
on.
right? Is it BMG?
BMG, yeah, BMG sounds right. Yeah. But boy, oh boy, it's been just a crazy year. And next year, I don't know. I quite honestly, I have no idea. We'll see how the economy goes. We'll see how many bands are touring because prices are still high. So logistically, hopefully we could still get a whole bunch of good bands touring around here. Because man, things I predict some a very unstable year, but that's just me. But I'm hoping for better. But I just got a feeling, not in terms of bands, but in terms of overall, economy and the way the way people can afford to come to the concerts and whatnot, and the way can the bands afford to
tour.
So we'll see, because I will not be political. I'm just saying the government's spending way too much money, and it boils down to it costs us. It raises prices for everything because there's too much money in the pipeline. So we'll see. Hopefully, Hollywood Casino and Live Nation can fill up that schedule with some really good rock, and hopefully the weather holds. Like I said, we did 12 concerts last year, and the weather, we didn't feel a drop of rain in anything. All we saw was basically beautiful sunsets out to the west. It was just an amazingly good year. And the band picks was great. I hopefully a lot return. I want to see Earth, Wind, and Fire again. Obviously, I want to see Korn, And I know Rod, he's done, so we are lucky to see
Yeah.
Rod Stewart do his final show, his final tour.
No, I tell you, I'm really looking forward to the ZZ Top Skinner show, man. I that's it's gonna be
That's
a
gonna be
great
great.
time, man.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, a lot of good music there, a lot of hits. I mean, yeah, Skinner. I love Skinner since their first album. They've been just right
right.
out of the gate. It was great, and so yeah, it's probably only one more member, but I think it's their final tour, and go out with a bang with some great music. We'll see. I imagine Korn will be back. I think they're like back every year, and of course we already got Foreigner. Bleh. But we will suffer the Foreigner, and hopefully Mick Jones will be with them. We'll see. I won't bet on it though.
Right.
But yeah, we'll see what the new year brings,
You
brother.
know,
Not much.
looking back at the, I don't know, kind of trends that we've seen starting this year, and I think may continue into next year. I think we're going to see more with the drones, man. I think we're
Uh,
going to see more issues with drones at shows, and I don't know. Well, I'm
yeah,
very interested to see how that all plays
yeah,
out.
yeah. They become so sophisticated. Yeah, you don't even have to be anywhere near the stadium.
Right?
You just watch it on your phone as you're diving right into the state. Yeah, so this could be interesting.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
We'll see how this next year what brings. So.
I'm not a big fan of technology actually, because it hasn't brought us together, it hasn't
Right.
been good for humanity in terms of loving your neighbor. Technology is just turning everybody away and making us look at a screen. So
Yeah.
nonetheless, you're right though. We'll see how the drone situation comes. So boy,
Other than
wow.
that, hey, 2022, pretty good year. Better than most I've had in recent years. So
Yeah,
looking
same here,
forward
my
to
man.
continue that trend, and we'll keep bringing you the rock and roll news every week. We'll keep working real hard for you, and hopefully we'll just keep gaining momentum with the subscribers and expanding our community and bringing you all the good rock and roll stuff, man.
Absolutely, because yeah, the rock's never going to stop, baby. It's always one thing or another. Lots of rock news,
Yeah.
lots of melodrama. It's amazing the amount of drama that's going on in the rock world. That next week I can't wait. I can't wait to dig into the journey. You're going to love this. But boy, we'll leave it there for now. So again, we hope everybody had a really great Christmas and a great holiday season. We got New Year's Eve coming up, so hopefully everybody is safe, warm, and with the ones they love. And we look forward to a 2023 Rock and Roll Geezers shows. Just keeping up with stuff, spending the summer on the lawn. I hope if you're in our area, the Chicago area, I hope you'll consider getting lawn tickets for the Hollywood Casino Amphitheater in Tinley Park. Get lawn seats with us and join us all summer long. It's going to be a really good party. So sure appreciate your watching us in 2023 or 2022, and can't wait till next year. So what do you say you bring us home there, Doc?
Been a great year. Really enjoyed doing this with you, Murph, and look forward to a whole nother year, man. So until next year, we will see you. Have a great rock and roll filled week, and we will see you next time.